Junkyard Social. How we doing tonight? Aw, man, there's 100 people in here. We can do better. Junkyard Social, how we doing tonight? My name is Ryan. I am going to be your host this evening, and we are kicking off the 5th year of the Boulder Comedy Festival. While you're doing those applause, keep it going for Zoe Rogers, who founded and created this and runs this every single year. I also need you to give another round of applause for Junkyard Social for always letting us come here and do this. And yes, as this gentleman learned, there are some seats up front, so if you guys want. I love that a lot of you are like, I'm willing to sit in the rain, but not up front. It's cool. Not like I'm gonna roast you, it's all right. So we have amazing comics from all over the country, all different types of diversity, unlike this audience right now, so. Man, the average median age in this room is dead. I'm concerned. You can boo me, but it's only gonna last so long, that's fine. Again, my name's Ryan. I'm going to be your host this evening. So do your best, guys, to keep your table talk to a minimum. We aren't Netflix. We can hear you, okay? If you don't like a joke, you know what you should do? Be quiet, because comedians hate that. And some of you are pretty good at it. Otherwise, yeah, let's kind of go ahead and get this thing started. I know you guys were shocked that the door guy decided to do comedy tonight. But when you saw me walk up here, a lot of you probably thought I looked like a gym teacher who's been going through a lengthy divorce. If you didn't laugh at that, you believed it. So I've had a really rough week. I'm going to be honest, so I'm so happy to be here. On Monday, I walked out and somebody had put mayonnaise on the windshield of my car. Right? I thought that was pretty rude. Very rude, right? Because do I look like someone who'd waste mayonnaise? No, that shit's delicious. So I sat in my car and contemplated everything that's been going wrong in my life, and a little thought popped up in my brain and said, Ryan, you can just pack up and start over in Ohio. That's when I realized I needed a therapist. So this week, I started ketamine therapy. Cool. You guys are about as supportive as my mom on that one. For those of you who've never done ketamine therapy, you're supposed to bring music that comforts you and soothes you. So I brought in Jimmy Buffett. Yeah, because guess who got wasted away again in Margaritaville? Some people claim that there's a woman to blame, but I know it was my dad's fault. After talking with the therapist for a little while, we realized he's a son of a bitch. But you know what, though? Growing up, my dad, he really wanted me to be straight. And he tried everything possible, and honestly, he probably deserves a round of applause, because I'm bisexual. He got me 50% of the way there. Okay, I'm actually going to have to talk to the therapist about the applause for my dad. But he took me to every kind of car thing possible to make me straight. He took me to NASCAR races, car conventions, drag races. Not the fun RuPaul kind. Okay, some of you in Boulder need to turn on VH1 and change your life. But the one thing he took me to that blew my mind was a Snap-on tool convention. Yeah, just the Denver Coliseum lined with taco trucks, none of them selling tacos, selling the same 35 tools over and over and over again. So I looked at my dad with my little queer heart and go, Dad, I don't want Snap-on, I want Strap-on. Boo's right. But that's not what I said. I wasn't out at that point. I was 13. But now that I'm, I said, Dad, when will this benefit me? How will this help me later on in my life? I'm 39 years old now, bisexual. I go to kink shows. And I'm at kink shows. I'm really good at haggling for a 3-inch rotating nut driver. The math checks out, guys, I promise you. I like to do impressions. Who likes impressions? Wow, didn't expect that much applause for impressions. 3 quick impressions for you. The first one, this is Adam Sandler as a ghost. Adam Sandler as a ghost. Ooh-wee! Ooh-wee! Thank you, that's Adam Sandler as a ghost. That's more the right amount of applause for these impressions. The second one is Adam Sandler trying to ride a skateboard for the very first time. Ooh-wee! Ooh-wee! Thank you, that's Adam Sandler riding a skateboard for the very first time. Okay, this last one here is Adam Sandler as a ghost trying to ride a skateboard for the very first time. Well, this just doesn't work at all. Thank you, that's Adam Sandler as a ghost trying to ride a skateboard. 3 applause breaks. I'm going to bed tonight. Let's see what else. But yeah, growing up though with my dad was tough because my dad was an addict. And he had the worst addiction possible. He was addicted to buying die-cast NASCAR collectibles off of QVC. Some of you are thinking, how is that the worst addiction possible? What if your dad's an alcoholic? Well, your dad passes out and you go to the party early. What if your dad smokes too much weed? Well, you have the best snacks on the block. Me, on the other hand, I had to see my dad's O-face every Friday night when the new Dale Earnhardt came out. So truly, my dad was an addict, and we had to send him back. On a separate story, I'm a 90s kid. One of my favorite TV shows was MTV Cribs. Do you guys like MTV Cribs? Some of the elderly people do not know what MTV Cribs are in here. They visit celebrities' houses, okay, you guys? My favorite episode was Tommy Lee. Do you guys know who Tommy Lee is? Yeah, the drummer of Motley Crue, and he has a really big dick. I know the age of this room, you all still have your VHS player and the tape right now, okay? So, but in his house, in his basement, he had a sex dungeon. It had sex swing toys, lubricant. It was insane. Now, what very few people realize, he sold the house, and later on, it became a rehab facility. The same one my dad went to. And we had family therapy session in the sex dungeon. Yep, so there we are. My dad's trying to open up. My mom's just crying. My brother doesn't know what to do. And all I can think about is Tommy Lee's monster dick just swinging back and forth. Just back and forth, this huge dick just swinging back and forth. No resistance. This huge monster cock! Which is really appropriate because my dad was a really big dick. So what I'm trying to say is that is my supervillain origin story. Or as my mom likes to call it, my comedy career. So we'll do one more joke and then we'll get your next comic up here. I told you I'm bisexual. I'm also polyamorous. So I'd like you to understand what that looks like for me. I have a wife of 20 years, a boyfriend of 4 years, and I've been dating a young lady about 3 months. And jealousy is an ugly look on all of your faces. Now, I get it. All of you are sitting here staring, trying to use your mind's eye, thinking of one person who could physically, mentally, and emotionally take care of 3 people. And when you open up your eyes, is this what you thought of? Before we get too far, I'm going to say this part. We have a very special guest here. I'll get back to this. We have comedy's #1 fan in Denver. Dave Caldwell is here. Dave's got the greatest laugh. So if you hear his laugh, okay? It's a very good sign. So, but yeah, by the way, the only person who can actually fill the relationship and take care of those 3 people is Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah. So, but I made a big mistake. The young lady I'm dating, she's a comedian. And that's a bad idea to date a fellow comedian. I'll tell you why. Because she'll come to my shows and she'll criticize my sets. Then we go back to her place and she'll criticize the sex. It's the same complaint about both. Do less Adam Sandler voices. All right, we ready to get this thing started? Somebody manhandle this, so that ain't gonna happen. So, your next comedian came all the way from California. She's the empty nester lesbian. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Mary Huth!
Hello, Boulder! I'm so excited to be here! Thank you guys all for coming out and supporting live comedy. So that is right. I am a lesbian empty nester. And before that, I was a lesbian soccer mom. And before that, say it with me, I was happy. It's all different now. You might also notice, too, I am biracial. I am 1/2 Japanese, 1/4 German, and 1/4 Swedish. I am like sashimi with a side of schnitzel. I am Asian, but sadly, I am just white enough to be aging poorly. I see I'm not the only one. You know, and I'm also an immigrant. I was actually born in Japan. And as an immigrant and a lesbian, I'm a little nervous about the new management in town, if you know what I mean. Whew, I've been doing a lot of stress eating. President Trump was exactly right. I've been eating all the dogs and all the cats. I had an everything beagle for breakfast. It was delicious. It was so good. Now, many of the comics that you're going to see here tonight, they have aspirations of becoming actors. That is their ultimate goal. This is a fantasy I never allow myself to indulge in, and I'm going to share with you why. I don't think there's a whole lot of casting directors out there going, "Bring me the next Asian Roseanne Barr." My husband never takes me anywhere, ever. I'm a domestic goddess. Roseanne Barr scares the shit out of me. I mean, here's a woman who objectively created one of the best sitcoms of all time. And a couple years later, she is wandering around Austin, Texas, looking for Jewish space lasers with Joe Rogan. I'm like, oh my God, could that happen to me? I don't know. So with your permission, if you guys will indulge me for a moment, I'm going to share with you what it is like to be an Asian comedian, sort of, inside baseball. Occasionally, I will get approached by a paler comedian, someone I like to refer to as a round eye, if you will. And he will come up to me and he will say, "Mary, I have written this Asian joke, and I do not wish to be canceled. So I'm going to run it by you, and you're going to tell me if it's cool, right?" Now, my response to this individual will be entirely determined by how I feel about him. Because if he's an asshole, or if he's just looking for my permission to be racist, I will be, "Oh my God, I love that joke! We love it when you white guys do the accent. Lean in. You, sir, have a flawless Vietnamese accent, But I did have a full circle moment the other day. I was out in Palm Springs, and I was doing a couple shows at a hotel, and there just so happened to be a cheer competition going on at the same time. And so my partner and I are traipsing around downtown Palm Springs, and we walk by Sephora, and like locusts, there's hundreds of adolescent girls with more makeup than Liberace and Tammy Faye put together. So I write this little joke in my head, get to the venue, talk to one of my pals. I'm like, "Keith, I wrote this joke, but I'm a little nervous about it. What do you think?" He's like, "That joke is solid. You should open with that joke." So I stood up, got on stage, noticed the entire audience was comprised of inebriated cheerleader moms, of adolescent girls, and I said, "Downtown Palm Springs reminded me of Epstein Island." Those bitches did not laugh once, okay? They did not crack a smile. It was a disaster, let me tell you. One thing, too, is sort of interesting, I was thinking about the other day. My mother was pretty homophobic when I was growing up. She would often say, negative things about the gay community. And she pretty much maintained this position until she got cancer. And she needed us to take care of her. And all of a sudden, like it was cool for her to move in with me and my partner, you know? And I was thinking about it because if necessity is the mother of invention, I think frailty is the second cousin of tolerance. You know what I mean? Because that's what happened. And then, like, the other thing that used to drive me bananas is my partner and I were both working, you know, and I used to work at the Wall Street Journal, and I would come home, and my mom would be there. And if I would come home before my partner, my mom would be like, "What are you making Susan for dinner?" And, like, I don't know why. I think primarily because Susan is a very white lady, you know. She is all of the Sherwin-Williams paint chips of white, you know. She is what we used to refer to in the gay community as a rice queen. You can probably figure out what that means from context clues, but it's okay because I myself have a little bit of a colonizer kink, you know? So my mom would always be like, "What are you gonna make for Susan for dinner?" And so, like, for some reason in her mind, like, Susan was the great white hope, you know, or whatever. And yeah, so I just used to get really frustrated by that. And I'm like, you know, I put in a full day's work too, you know, not just Susan. And, you know, like, if I have to, you know, it's one thing to have a colonizer kink, but I'm not serving colonizers, you know what I mean? It's just a little something. That's where I draw the line, you guys. That's where I draw the line. So, at any rate, I might seem fairly mild-mannered to you, but I actually am a lady who has had 2 dicks in her at the same time. It's the truth. I have 23-year-old twin boys. Those dicks were in me for 9 months. I don't recommend it. Thank you guys so much.
Yeah, keep that going for Mary Huth. Your next comedian up, he's a regular at the Comedy Fort in Fort Collins, also produces a bunch of amazing shows all across the state. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Greg Cherry!
Hey, Boulder Junkyard Social Club, how we doing out there? All right. Yeah, so I'm actually up from Fort Collins, but not from Colorado originally. I'm actually from Cleveland. Yeah, that's about right. Yeah, but I'm from Cleveland, which is why I look like a youth pastor with a drug problem. So, yeah. I said that once on stage, and my friend came up to me after. He's like, "Hey, dude, you should actually tell people that you look like a camp counselor that knows when all the campers turn 18. Yeah, that's a bad friend. But I love being out here because Ohio's so depressing, Colorado's so beautiful, so much to do, and I love being out on the trails, right? Love going out there, love running, because when you're out there with other people, it doesn't matter your religion, your political ideologies, your sexual orientation, we're just all out there to enjoy nature and shut the fuck up, right? And that's neat. But like when I go out there and I go, I didn't expect to pop there, but I'll take it. No, but like when I go out there, you know, I like to, say hi to people, especially if there's a single woman walking this way. I know I look like I just robbed a Hot Topic, and I want her to know that she's gonna see her family that night. And so when she's coming this way, you know, I'll just be running. I'll be like, "Howdy do," go on my way, right? Everyone's happy. Everyone goes home. But sometimes I go running. I like to take some mushrooms beforehand. Not a whole lot, just enough to like feel a vibe, you know? But the other day I was out running and I felt a little tingling going. I was like, all right, cool. And then I felt even more going. And I was like, oh no. And I realized that I medically took what you would call an oopsie. And so I'm out running. I'm like, all right, we're gonna make it through this. And this woman's walking this way. And I'm like, all right, Greg, you know what to do? Howdy do, go on your way. Instead, she's walking this way, and I'm out running, and I go, I'm not dangerous. And I don't know if you know this, but if you're not dangerous, you don't need to say you're not dangerous. That means you're gonna kill someone. That's fine, that's fine. No, but I do visit my folks pretty often when I can. Every time I go home, though, my mom's a little disappointed because I can't get more tattoos, right? And she's like, Greg, why are you making these permanent changes to your body? You know these are permanent, right? And I'm like, yeah, Mom, I know how tattoos work. But we're going to talk about permanent changes. How about we also discuss what happened to my foreskin? Yeah. You can't tattoo what's not there. So, and now you all know a little bit about me, and that's fine. And, just quick survey, no judgment. Where are my foreskins at? Cowards. All of you. You know, and I know some of you might think, man, I really like clean comedy, and that wasn't for me. That was too dirty. I disagree. That is a clean-cut joke. Depending on what kind of insurance you have, it is clean-cut. But no, but you know, I have been having a very exciting year. I got engaged. That's been pretty cool. Yeah, thank you. Let's not get too excited. It's my first marriage, her second one. We'll see. And the thing is, though, is that before me, she's actually married to a woman. So that's pretty cool, right, fellas? Anyways. And so, you know, I had to explain this to my conservative parents who live in Ohio, all right? And so I sat them down. I was like, Mom and Dad, you're going to learn a lot about my fiance. You know, she makes me very happy. She's the love of my life, has the purest soul I've ever met. And just real quick, she was married before. No big deal. It was to a woman. And my mom just looks at me and goes, well, aren't you worried she's going to leave you for a woman? And before I could say anything, off to the right, my dad just goes, nice. And I high-fived him, walked away, said no more conversation is needed. Dad spoke for both of us, but but it's really cool in this relationship. You know, we're learning a lot about each other, and like when you move in together for the first time, you sort of learn things about your partner. Like, you know, if they put the toilet paper on the wrong way, if they squeeze the toothpaste from the bottom or from the middle like a goddamn barbarian. In my case, I learned that she's a lot kinkier than I am, all right? And so, like, for instance, in the bedroom, she likes dirty talk, and I'm awkward as hell. I know on stage I told you about my dick. Doesn't translate to real life, okay? Does not. But, you know, she's been calling me daddy a lot, and have you heard about this? Have you tried this? Dave? More of a pop guy, that's fine. That's fine. Just kidding, Dave. I love you. No, but you know, she's, you know, so the other day she called me daddy. You know, we're about to get down to it. She turns around, looks over her shoulder, and goes, "Give it to me, daddy." Hot damn, you know, like. And so I'm walking up, and I'm like, "All right, you've been training for this. You know what to say." She goes, "What?" I'm like, "Fuck, I'm talking out loud." And but you know, we get up to the moment. And I assume the position. I go, yeah, you like that? Sport? Yeah, don't do that. All right, because you're never gonna come that hard again. And yeah, you know, it's like that first hit of heroin. You're gonna chase that dragon for the rest of your life. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna be rough. No, but you know, we decided though we're in our mid-30s and we don't want kids. So and the reason being is that it's just so expensive, and we like to have money. And you know, if you do have kids, that's fine. And if you're trying to have a kid, God bless you on your journey. But if you're trying to have a child, stop telling me about it. All right? You know, it's like, yeah, we're trying to have a kid. Yeah, we're trying to have a baby. And it's like, I get it, Carl. You're not pulling off your wife. It's gross. We're in the office. Stop. Like, let's be real. Like, you know, as soon as people do get pregnant, they post on Facebook right away. Like, I'm scrolling through my feed the other day. My friend posts a picture of her toddler next to a letterboard. Just reads, "Oops, they did it again. Baby number 2 due in March." Gross. Don't do that. Because let's be honest, that probably should have just read, "Oops, dad forgot to pull out again. Let's hope this one saves the marriage." And yeah. A lot of baby twos. I get it. No, but like, to take care of the whole not having a kid thing, I actually got a vasectomy. And does that make me better than you? No, but it does make me a lot more fun. But what they don't tell you is that the most awkward part about the vasectomy isn't the actual procedure itself. They give you a Valium to take in the parking lot like a drug addict. I'll do that all the time, all right? The actual awkward part is the consult, because you're just sitting there waiting for the doctor to come in, and I'm Winnie the Pooh in it with my legs dangling like a kid on a swing set. Probably the most vulnerable I've ever been. And he comes in, he's like, hey, how we doing? And I'm a comic, it's awkward, I'm gonna try to make light of it. So I just look him in the eyes and go, oh, pretty good, but I don't normally meet people like this. And he just stares off in the distance and goes, I do. And behind that man's eyes, I saw someone who's seen too many balls, like his soul was tainted. But all right, I'll leave you all with this. So, despite all that, I actually am a family man. I stay in touch with my folks. I do sing my mom every year called Lent. And if you don't know what Lent is, it's when you get something for 40 days and 40 nights because your family believes in the Easter Bunny. Yes, correct. And so on Facebook, I posted, for 40 days, I'm going to give up alcohol, hoping I'd have some support from my friends, that they'd be supportive. Instead of my friends dive bombs my comments and goes, for 40 days, I'm going to give up fucking your mom. And then I just had to respond back with, leave me alone, Dad. And all right, I've been Greg Cherry. Thank you so much. Good back up for Ryan Bonnell.
Yes, keep those applause going for Greg Cherry. Your next comedian coming up runs an amazing podcast called Listen to Your Mother. She also runs a show called I'm My Therapist's Favorite. If that's not an intriguing title to a show, I don't know what is. Let's give it up for Pam Moore!
So I am 46, which is kind of a weird age. Right now I have crow's feet and a zit. I feel like I should be wearing like a crop top and a pair of Dr. Scholl's orthotic sneakers. Now these things, they just do not pair well, right? One says puberty. The other one says, it doesn't really say anything. It more just lies awake in bed at night, sweating, in complete denial of perimenopause. But, acne and wrinkles, they go together. It's like they don't go together. It'd be like enjoying a charcuterie board with a Capri Sun. Right? There is a silver lining, though. I know you guys were worried. The zit is kind of small, so I can only see it when I have my readers on. No, I am middle-aged, but I do still want to try new things. My goals this year are to try pickleball and Molly. I'm a little nervous about the pickleball. I did try craniosacral therapy, which, if you don't know what that is, you are clearly not from Boulder. But craniosacral is an energetic form of massage where their hands are near your body but not actually touching you. It is the dry humping of body work. Like, it feels good, but sad. Yeah. It's like a energetic cock block, as it were. But I love my IUD. I have the hormonal kind. It is called the Mirena. And I'm on my second one, which means I have not had my period since Barack Obama was in the White House. When I got it, they told me I was going to need a new one in 5 years. And here is a fun fact about me. I'm the type of person who doesn't always remember to take my old tampon out before I put the new one in. Yeah, I know, because I have found a surprise tampon, which is gross, but also totally makes sense because I have ADHD, and that is known for making it difficult to manage your clutter. But no, it is kind of like when you find a $20 bill in your pocket. You know, you're rummaging around and you're like, oh my God, what is that? How long has this been in here? I think it's my lucky day. No, it's like that, except with the tampon, you're like, motherfucker. How long has this been rotting in my body? I feel like you know what I mean. Guess today is the day I die of toxic shock syndrome. Better get my affairs in order. So, no, I am a very busy woman. I cannot be bothered to remember what's in my vagina. So, the first thing I did when I left my doctor's appointment with my brand new IUD was I got out my phone and I entered a new event in my calendar, which I share with my husband. Replace Marina. And my husband was like, who's Marina? And why are we replacing her? Getting the Marina really hurt. When I called to schedule the appointment, they said, make sure you have a ride because we're gonna give you some very serious pain meds. I was pumped. I was hoping for either Percocet or maybe Molly. But they were about to start the procedure, and I still had not gotten anything for pain. And I don't want them to write drug seeking in my chart. However, I'm drug seeking. So I'm like, hey, I love the vibe in here, but I was told there was gonna be a little something for pain. They're like, well, this is Boulder Women's Care, not Greeley Gynecology. They said, all we can offer you is Tylenol, Advil, or Reiki. They said, but you shouldn't need much more than that. I needed a lot more than that, but not as much as I needed 5 years later when it was time to replace the Mirena. And I say this as someone who delivered my 2 kids at home without any pain meds. As I said, I do live in Boulder, but what I'm saying is I'm not one to freak out about every little, ache, pain, or baby head. But I'm lying on the table while the nurse is beachcombing my uterus, and she turns to her assistant and goes, hey, have you seen the mega extractor? Which she tells me is just a tool we use when we've looked everywhere, but we still can't find your IUD. Now, I am not a doctor, but I do feel that if that is a tool you need, the IUD should come with its own AirTag. Right? I also think that if men got IUDs, the strong pain meds would not just be an empty promise. They wouldn't be like, you're a warrior, bro. Remember that time we convinced you to jump off the roof into the pool, but you didn't know it was drained? You got this, man. Now here's a half of ibuprofen. We wouldn't want to stress your liver out. If men got IUDs, they would schedule their appointments at Children's Hospital. Where they would be greeted at the door by hot clowns wearing string bikinis. They'd be handing out ice cream cones with Percocet sprinkles, right? It would be like Disney World, or at least Casa Bonita, I think. No, but my husband and I, we are a sex-positive family. So last Saturday, we told our kids, hey, listen, if the door is shut, don't even knock. Mom and Dad are having sex. They were like, ew, that is disgusting. To be honest, I was a little offended, but it was worth it because no one came anywhere near our bedroom door for days. We had sex. We had an uninterrupted conversation. We binged all 5 seasons of Breaking Bad. Now our children think that Bryan Cranston is our favorite porn star. Now, some people think that we are glorifying sex, but in our house, the seduction begins when one of us takes our retainers out. Yeah, putting my yellowed retainer on the night table, that is my mating call. When my husband sees me slide out of my bite guard, he's like, "What's up, nasty girl?" Yeah, he's like, "Oh, you're looking for a man to match your freak?" So he shimmies out of his Invisalign. Yeah, it's hot. So I think that if we are glorifying anything, it's orthodontia. Thank you, Boulder. You guys have been awesome.
Keep that going for Pam Moore. Your next comedian coming up to the stage won the 4th funniest competition. He lived here, but he moved to Minnesota, so we're so glad he came back here to visit. Let's give it up for Elliot Weber!
Oh, yeah. Oh, the lakes this time of year, I tell you what, it's just beautiful up there. Took the accent right back with me. Hell yeah, front row reserved for friends and family, so that's about right. Or are these just footrests? I don't know. My dad said he'd be here, so we'll see. Traffic, it's crazy. This is cool. What is this place? This is tight, man. It used to be trash, and now it's got a fence around it. That's cool. That's real neat, man. This is cool. These are portals. If I walk through this one, I'll come out that one, watch. Dang. You didn't know till you tried, Give it a shot. There's a sign back there that says, "Question everything." And I saw that and I was like, why? This is cool, man. Oh, the hot guy left. Mustache, come back. Is he? Oh, you betcha. We'll talk later. We'll do some crowd work. What's up, man? What do you do? You guys hiring? I got laid off yesterday, so I feel like I'm not qualified, but anybody got a job that is hiring? Turning this into a LinkedIn session up here real quick. Some of my skills, public speaking, proficient with Acrobat. Also, let's pivot. Does anybody have Adderall? Happy Pride Month. Happy Pride Month to the Proud Boys. I think some people missed the second part because they kept clapping. There's got to be at least one of the Proud Boys, right? One of them, they're like, "White is right." And he's like, "Well, until Labor Day, but yeah." I don't know where I land sexually anymore. I'm married to a woman. I hooked up with a bunch of men. I love telling jokes about it. I'll get people come up to me sometimes like, "Well, how gay are you?" I'm like, "Gay enough to prove it." Like, what do you mean? Gay enough to turn my hat around. Like, we could figure it out. But I married a woman, and that really throws people. They get confused. But she knows, and she's cool, and she pegs me. So it's like, what's the deal, I married a woman in STEM. You got it. If you don't have one, get yourself an engineer, dude. It's incredible. Women in STEM, basically dudes. It's awesome. She's so capable. She'll change the car battery. She'll build a shelf. She'll hold me if the thunder's loud. I went away on a road trip for comedy. I came back home. She's out in the garage listening to Nickelback. She did built-in shelves, put them into the wall. She's like, "Do you like these? I made these while you were gone." I was like, "I do. That's incredible. We rent this house. Landlord's gonna love it. Great job." We always get the kids question. That's the question you get as soon as you're married. That's crazy right now. You should not own a child and borrow a bedroom. What if rent goes up, Here's what I think. If you rent, foster. That seems fair, right? Then if shit hits the fan, you could go, we gave it a good run, man, you know? Some of the best 3 years of my life. Once you own a house, have a real kid. Sorry, I called you hot earlier and I found out you're from Minnesota. What part? From Boulder. Okay, who lied to me? Oh, you thought I thought he was the hot one, but it was that. To be fair, you look a lot like me. What do you guys do later after a couple? What do you guys do for work? Are you hiring? I recently just moved to Minnesota. I like Colorado. I'm gonna miss it here a lot. Right before I moved, somebody put flyers all over our neighborhood that said "Lost Bird" on the fly, and my first thought was, "Oh man, birds fly." Like, what are we gonna do about that? You know? If it's a dog, it makes sense. We could sweep the neighborhood. What do you want us? There's more information on the poster. It said "Last seen my yard," and I was like, "You took the bird outside? Was it a penguin?" Well, then it's probably gone, dude. And it had the bird's name. The bird's name was Devin, which is not a bird name. That's a person name. Way too human of a name to give a bird. There's somebody running around my neighborhood with a net like, "Devin! Devin!" And then there's just some kid vaping in an alley like, "What?" And then there's a picture of the bird, and it's just a bird. I don't know how else to describe it to you beyond that it is not in any way a special, it's not a parrot, it's not a pet store, it's the closest thing to a robin I've ever seen. I'm like, am I gonna have to call this number and be like, "Hey man, those are for everybody." I don't. That's insane. Or you just do like what you do with a child when a goldfish dies, where you go to the store and just replace it at night and not tell them. I hope somebody did that, just brought him another bird, like, "This is Devin," and he's like, "Are you sure?" You're like, "Yeah, look, he likes seeds and nuts, so it's probably, oh no, there he goes, Devin! Oh, these damn wings!" I've been trying to find a nice, healthy balance with my mental health. The way things go now, I kind of swing on a pendulum. I go from like a unattainable God complex, which, if you don't know, God complex is an unsubstantiated feeling of superiority over you guys wouldn't get it. And I go from that to just depression and self-doubt. Here's a perfect example. I did a gig in Steamboat Springs, bombed super hard in the mountains. Driving home, I have these two thoughts in this order. My first thought is, I'm gonna drive off this cliff and kill myself. And my second thought is, if I tried to do that, I'd probably survive. I can't even take me out, dude. I'm too strong, you know? Let's see. Do you guys follow Brita on Instagram? Like the water filters? Look it up. Don't get your phone out now. After the show, it is the most unhinged Instagram. It's amazing. It's incredible. Filtered water, unfiltered content. Amazing Instagram. Shout out Brita. It's totally random. You got to see their page. It's indescribable. This will be my last one. I've been sleeping with men for a while. Bisexual is probably the closest I would. All good. Did that look cool? Bisexual is probably the closest I could land in terms of the alphabet for my sexuality. So I remember coming out to my friends. I had to tell one of my best friends from high school that I've been hooking up with men, and he's very religious, strongly Christian. So I was not sure how it was going to go, but he handles the news pretty well. He gives me a flyer to his church that says you can't climb your way to heaven with a handful of penis. Which is hurtful, but also true. If you've ever tried to climb a ladder with something in your hand, it's very tough to do. Pro tip, put it in your mouth. You get it right up there. Thank you so much. My name's Elliot. You guys rock.
Yeah, keep it going for Elliot Weber. Your next comic came here from LA. She's been seen on Access Hollywood. Let's give it up for Dana Taylor!
All right, what's up, Boulder? I'm so excited to be here. I've actually been spending a lot of time here recently because my boyfriend and his family are from here and they're here tonight. Yeah, nothing like making dick jokes in front of your future in-laws, so wish them luck. But yeah, I love Boulder so much because it's such a warm and welcoming community. You guys really celebrate each other's differences, and I like that. You know, like growing up, I always felt a little different. I've always had like a pretty deep and raspy voice, you know, even as a little kid, this is what I sounded like. And I feel like it doesn't track though, you know, like I feel like if you looked at me, you'd expect me to say things like, wait, what? You know, but the sound of my voice is much more comfortable saying things like, no one will hear you scream. Sucks. It's like that's a masculine thing. You know what I mean? But like I'm quite feminine. Other than the fact that I own a gun, I'm proud of my farts, and I call other women sugar tits. But other than that, I'm super, super feminine. Yeah, I've never been a girly girl. Growing up, people always wondered whether I was gay, and by people, I mean my grandma and her live-in friend Ruth. Yeah, when I was single, I actually, well, for quite a bit, I wonder why, but I did hire a dating coach, and she told me that when women have too much masculine energy, that's the number one thing that stops men from wanting to marry them. So I was like, so I'll propose to him, I got it, yeah. One of the things I did like about the dating coach, though, is like they actually help you get really clear on what it is you're looking for in someone. And you know, it's really liberating because it makes you realize that like all the small stuff in life really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of things, you know? So when they asked me what I was looking for in someone, I wrote a song. You guys want to hear it? Okay, great. He's broke, I don't care, there's tons of coke, I don't care. I don't care that he's a mean old jerk, I just really need a man whose sniffer don't work. It's hard to be a lady, but I'm doing my best. Wash my hair, show off my chest, but I got a dirty secret that's kinda juicy. My armpits smell like a dumpster full of sushi. Now love don't come easy when you stink this bad. I scared off every man, including my dad. But even when you're stinky, every door don't shut, 'cause it didn't stop me from being a slut. He's got no teeth, I don't care. Has sex with sheep, I still don't care. I don't care that he's a little inbred, and he don't care I'm smelly 'cause I'm good in bed. All right, I got a little bit more. You want to know how this happened? This all started when I turned 13. Everything changed when I hit puberty. My deodorant scent is velvety vanilla, but I still smell like a 600-pound gorilla. I know you're thinking, how long can she sing about her pits? Don't you worry, my next song is all about my dick. Okay, there's that dick joke. Sorry, in-laws. But I kept my promise, so really, I'm a woman of integrity if you think about it. Yeah, but it worked. I actually, you know, I'm in a long-term serious relationship for the first time in my life. And yeah, his sniffer don't work too good at all. It don't work too good. But things are going well. We've moved in together a little bit ago, and things have been pretty bumpy, but we're finally starting to get along. I think what's helped is that he moved out, so that... No. One of the things was like, he's kind of passive-aggressive. You know, like, you know when someone wants to say something bitchy, but they don't want to sound bitchy? So they use the word we. But what they really mean is you. Yeah. Like after I cook a meal, my boyfriend will be like, how do we get the chicken juicy next time? How do we not overcook the bacon? I'm like, I don't know, babe. How do we stop fantasizing about your best friend, Derek? He hates that joke. Derek loves it. Derek loves it. The other thing I hate about moving in together is like everything is a joint decision. Oh my God, my boyfriend, he wants to run everything by me. It's like, I just want him to get it done. Stop asking me questions. It's exhausting. You know, like the other day we needed to replace our toilets. And my boyfriend was like, babe, I need your input on the height of the toilets. And I was so annoyed. I was like, it's a toilet. Just take care of it. So now when I pee, my feet don't touch the ground. That's 100% true. That's... You should see me, just little dangling legs there. I don't know how to pivot to this, but I got a brother, and he's actually a fairly well-known actor. He was recently Rooster in Top Gun Maverick. He starred in Whiplash. It's Miles Teller. There. Now you don't have to Google him. If you don't know who he is, yes, all right. You know, now eyes up here, okay? I'm the middle child with a famous brother and a lazy eye. I need all the attention I can get. Yeah. It's been an interesting shift in our dynamic because growing up, everybody introduced him as Dana Teller's little brother. But now everyone introduces me as Miles Teller's skank sister. Dating can be weird, you know, because you never know how someone's going to react when you tell them. Like, I was on a date with this guy, and it came up who my brother was, and he was like, holy shit, that's so cool. I want to be him. What? Could you imagine being on a date with someone you're considering sleeping with, and then all of a sudden they're like, this would be so much cooler if we were siblings? Also, like, hot tip, don't ever tell someone you're dating you want to be someone else, okay? That doesn't exactly project confidence. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, growing up I wanted to be Barbara Walters, but every time I've been on a date with her brother, I've managed to leave that part out. Also, like, I hate to say this because I think my brother's incredibly talented, but, like, dream bigger, guy, you know what I mean? Like, the guy hasn't even won an Oscar yet, you know? It's just like, it's just weird to see people idolize someone who I once saw cry because my mom didn't make him French toast for breakfast, you know? He was 27. Yeah, there's a lot of perks to having a famous brother, but one of the most annoying things is that, like, everything has to revolve around his schedule, you know, because he's paying. It's his money. Now I say it out loud, it kind of makes sense. But it does feel a little unfair sometimes. It's like, oh, we can't have family dinner because Brad Pitt invited you over to talk about starring in his next film. It's so selfish, you know? It's like, just give us your credit card, you know? No, my brother, he is very generous, but I feel like rich people do this thing where they feel like giving you actual money is tacky and gauche, you know? Like last year for Christmas, my brother got me a Chanel wallet that cost $4,500. I was like, I'd rather have the $4,500. So you gave me this wallet for what? Now I got a $4,500 wallet with $8 and a Dave & Buster's points card in it. Like, great, now I gotta worry about someone stealing my wallet. If I do get mugged, I'd be like, take the money, just leave the wallet. Yeah, I do get to do some cool stuff though, you know, like yacht parties, lavish vacations, which is awesome. You know, like last year for New Year's, we got invited to this dinner party where the host had a $2 million private wine collection flown in for 20 people. That's $100,000 worth of wine per person. I know everyone's like, this is amazing, I'm having the best time. I'm like, yeah, I love swallowing a down payment on a condo. Yeah, but we're all very proud of my brother, especially my parents. But my mom, she's really proud of all her children. Like, I really don't think there's anything me or my siblings could do that would make her not brag about us to her friends. She's like, my son Miles was in a movie with Nicole Kidman. My daughter Erin volunteers with orphans, and my daughter Dana has no gag reflex. It's amazing. That's that skank part coming out. Yeah, speaking of my dysfunctional family, I have an older sister. And she's gorgeous. She definitely got the most looks in the family, but she also got the most mental illness, so everything comes with a price, you know what I mean? No, I love my sister, and I'm working on our relationship, but I just wish that I had, like, normal sister issues, Like, I wish I could be like, hey, did you borrow my favorite hoop earrings? But instead it's like, hey, did you steal my identity to get a loan for a washing machine? It's also 100% true, that one in there. I know. I don't talk about it much, but technically we have different fathers. But I never grew up like thinking of her like a half sister or calling her my half sister, and I certainly never treated her like that. And that's really a credit to my mom, because like anytime someone would ask if we were half sisters, she'd be like, ugh, half sister, I hate that term. It's so vile. You know what I say? You come from the same hole, it's your whole sister. Love this guy. Oh, that's right. If I ever not feel good about myself, I'm just doing comedy for you, and it's amazing. I love it. Yeah, my sister, she does suffer from mental illness, and people ask me what that's like, and I say, like, being around someone with mental illness is kind of like being in the room with a human Jack in the Box. That crazy's gonna pop out at some point. Whenever I go home, it's like, my sister came over on Christmas Day, and nothing seemed to faze her. But then she punched my mom and spit on a cop, and oops, they had to tase her. Okay, thanks everyone. I've been Dana.
Keep it going for Dana Tyler. Man. Your next comedian coming up runs some of the best shows all over the state of Colorado. She also travels the country with Moms Unhinged. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Janae Suplee!
Keep it going for your host, Ryan, everybody, and all the comics you've seen. Yes. Dana, I can compete. I don't have a famous brother, but I do have a drunk aunt that sings in an 80s cover band. So, what's up? What's up, Boulder? How are we doing tonight? Thank you all for coming to Keys C Comedy and JoJo Siwa's Fever Dream. I know I look like geriatric JoJo Siwa, so just gonna lean into that look tonight. Well, like Ryan said, my name is Janae Suplee, or as my friends at Starbucks know me, it's Jean Slurpee. Right? I recently started a new job. Gotta love Dave. I recently started a new job, and one of my coworkers was like, oh my God, girl, your name is pronounced Janae Suplee. Bitch, like Timothée Chalamet? She's like, bitch, you speak French, you have to speak French, don't you? And I was like, bitch, I was homeschooled and born in a trailer, so oui. Oui, thank you for thinking I'm so worldly. Oui, it's what we did in the front yard. It was our second bathroom. Okay. I love Boulder because you're like, there's gravel out there. Well, we like that, but we don't like it in our driveway. That was my experience growing up. No, I do a lot of comedy throughout Denver and Boulder. I just did a show in Boulder last week, and this guy came up to me and was like, as he twirled his single dread, he was like, so let me get this straight. You were born in a trailer, raised on a farm, and your mom made your clothes? That's totes organic, bro. I was like, oh, that's totes poor, bro. Yeah, homeschool chic wasn't a thing yet, Boulder. Okay? My siblings and I weren't watching Little House on the Prairie, ironically. We were watching it for farming tips. The last 15 years, everyone's like, hashtag free Britney. My brothers and I are like, hashtag what happened to Mary? She went blind. Okay, Little House on the Prairie crowd, my vibe. You guys are old like me. I like it. No, like Ryan said, I tour a lot with Moms Unhinged. Just did a bunch of shows in Nebraska, and everyone knew how Mary went blind. I was like, Nebraska, you need more hobbies, okay? Okay? I am married. Any other married folks in the crowd? Yeah. Delayed applause for marriage. You're like, not tonight. I got my margs and my ladies. I like it. No, I am married. I decided to take the plunge and adopt a grown man. It's going just like we thought it would. I'm packing a lot of lunches. It's a lot of paperwork. No, my husband is actually the sweetest, right? He's so nice. Let's do a little trivia here, okay? Like, marriage is hard when your significant other is like so much nicer than you are. Shaking heads. Ladies, yes, every other asshole. You're my people. Thank you for coming out. No, my husband is the sweetest. Like, okay, ladies, you ever see a guy walking towards you and you're like, oh, you know, that polo is just so crisp and fresh. You are just so wholesome. Like, you have to be from the Midwest. Like, your cum tastes like ranch. Like, it has to. It has to. It has to. And I love ranch, right? And I know that joke can be controversial, right? Because we probably have some East Coasters, some blue cheese fans in the house, okay? I did that joke in Wisconsin last month, and a woman shouts out, chili cheese queso! No, Madison, Wisconsin. It should never be chili cheese queso. Your husband needs to go to the hospital. What are you doing? No, he's so nice. Okay, so for example, we didn't start dating until we were in our 30s. And how do I say this, Boulder? He'd never sent one before, but I got like a package picture, like a Southern headshot. For the people in the back, it was a hammogram, okay? I took his dick pic virginity. Scandalous. I know. No, I did. I got the picture and I was like, whoa, you're new at this. Whoa. It was just like Bush and fear. Like, it's a pensive dick pic. It's yours. Why are you so afraid of it? You know, I'm just saying, if you trimmed the bushes, the trees would look bigger. He's a landscaper. He should know this. And the best part, it was a live photo. So it was just a whole lot of this, like why the full body? Like, I'm not getting him enough credit. Like, he had a little twinge, like a little twinkle in his eye at the end, like, I'm a man now. Like he was so excited to send it. And now whenever we get in a fight, or we're in the kitchen or something, and he's like, you know, you really need to put things away. I was like, oh yeah? He's never gonna live it down. No, and then he did that thing, right, ladies, where he's like, so Janae, if you took my dick pic virginity, what virginity of yours did I take? And ladies, if you've had my past, there's nothing left to give. There's nothing left to give you. I'm like checking my pockets. I'm like, what can I give you? It's definitely not back there. So I was like, babe, I never went to Portland. Until we started dating. They keep it saucy. They keep it sexy. He's like, no, we're both disappointed. Oh my goodness. I give him a lot of crap, but I am also from the Midwest. Any Midwesterners out here? Yeah. Land of cold hearts and hot cousins. I can hear the sadness in those woos. You're here now. You made it out. No, I recently took a voice acting class, and he's like, you know what, Janae, you have a really interesting dialect and a really interesting range. You could do Midwestern commercials in the Midwest for Midwesterners. So I think I'm going to be the voice for farmersonly.com, guys. It's going to go a little something like this. Hey there, ladies. Don't you want to just be like me and find a guy that reminds you a little bit of your dad? That's right, a handsome fella that you bump into in the middle of a storm chase. Whoop. Didn't see you there, and I do, future husband. A guy who shows his love with 2 fingers over the steering wheel of the truck. Saying hi to his neighbor. Hey there, bud. Hey there, bud. FarmersOnly.com. Thank you. I see a few hey there, buds in the crowd. You're welcome. You're in a safe space, guys. I do have some Hey There Bud stickers afterward if you would like to partake. They're just fingers and tractors. It's great. You can't go wrong. No, but I am a mom. My daughter just turned 2.5. Thank you. Yes. You were like, there are no kids here and you will not speak of them. I like that. No, I did. I had an IUD though for like 10 years before I had the baby. Yeah, she was the longest relationship I've ever had. I miss her. I just like imagine my IUD, you know. She's just like, just for the men that are looking at me very confused. The guys who may think like a labia minora is what you light at Hanukkah. No. I'm in my 20s. My IUD, she's partying, right? I imagine her as like a 90s crime fighting hero, just like boo, boo, boo. Fighting crime and semen. Boo, boo, boo. Dudes, they're shaped like a T for the Terminator, actually. Like, sent here from the future to keep an idiot from being born. Like, boo, boo. I love telling jokes in Boulder, Colorado. I do that in the Midwest. Sometimes they're like, are you talking about politics? Is this about birth control? No. Does this look political to you? But so when I had the procedure to have the IUD put in, it's like a whole thing. They give you a pill called a uterine relaxer. It's about this size. And I was like, okay, I've got a tiny mouth. This is going to work well. Gulp, gulp, gulp. There it goes down. I get to the appointment, and they're like, hey, Miss Slurpee. Hey, Jean. Welcome. Come on in. Good to see you. How did the entrance of your pill go for you? Don't look away, sir. I'm making a couple hey there buds uncomfortable. And I go, you guys, I didn't want this to be true so much that I was like, it went down just fine, hoping for the best. And she's like, wait, what? And I'm like, wait, what? So we're just up there doing this, like. She was like, wait, you took that vaginally, right? And I was like, does it look like I took it vaginally? I didn't even know she could do that. She eats things now? Is she who ordered the pizza at 2 a.m. last night? Same team. So then I'm like, okay, I'm a woman, problem-solving mode. What's going to happen to me? And she's like, oh, sweetie, I've worked here for 19 years. I have no idea what's going to happen to you. And I was like, no, well, this had to have happened before. And she goes, honey, like I said, almost 20 years. This has never happened before. You guys, everything dilated but my cervix. And I wish that story wasn't true. Keep it going for your host, Ryan, everybody. I've been Janae Saplee. Thank you so much.
Keep it going for Janae Suplee. Your next comedian coming up came here from California. He actually performed here last year on this stage. I'm so glad he came back. Let's give it up for Chip Nicholson!
Man, give it up for Ryan, man. That's fucking hosting the shit out this, man. Fucking, where's Dave? Where's Dave? That's you? Man, all right, man. I've been hearing your laugh this whole time. This is fantastic. I'm gonna give a sticker out to the best laugher, and I assume it's gonna be you, to be honest. So we'll see who gets the best laugh at the end. I'm glad Ryan got my name right, Chip Nicholson. Very simple name, very hard to mess up. But the other day I was doing a show. The host pulled the impossible, messed my name all up. He was nervous. He was like, "Coming to the stage, your next comedian." You could hear it in his voice, flubbering, cracking and shit, right? "Make it loud for, Chick Nippleson." He guessed. Who? Chick Nippleson? That should be my drag name. You know what I'm saying? Like, put a wig on, come out with backup dancers. Like, it's Chick Nippleson, baby, and the areolas. Like, what the fuck? I don't believe in black ghosts. Anybody else? Black people ghosts? Dead-ass black people? Sir, you believe in black ghosts? That was a fast answer. All right, I'll take it. For those of you that didn't hear, he goes, "I don't know." Fast answer. That's good for 2025. He had no idea how to answer that shit. It's not your fault. It's not your fault, man. Honestly, I like asking white people white guilt trick questions sometimes. Damned if you do or don't. It's not your fault, man. I agree with you, though. You know, I mean, I ain't never seen or heard of a haunting, right? And then I realized, you know why you can't see a black ghost? Because black ghosts ain't got shit to haunt. Think about that shit. Every decade they come back is better than when they left. They come back impressed, just boo. I said that one time in Alabama. "You know why you can't see a black ghost?" White lady stands up. "'Cause they're too dark. You can't see them." I'm like, God damn it, no. You racist bitch. Like, what the fuck she think? We die and become shadows and shit? Like, you can see a black ghost. We're ashy. No, I'm kidding. I'm just kidding, man. I just got this new hair. This is crazy, man. This hair is wild, man. I never had hair before like this. I never had hair like this before. Like, it took a while to grow this out. When I was a kid, my mom was a single parent mom, and so she always used to shave me bald, right? Cheapest haircut you could have, you know what I'm saying? So I ain't never had hair, and I always used to be jealous of white people and y'all's hair, I swear to God. Because y'all would always be doing wild shit like, oh, and I didn't understand what that was about, right? I'd be a kid and I'd just be seeing you guys going through life just, what the fuck is that? Why are they being so pretentious and pretty about it? That's fucking. And then I got the hair, and then it got in my eye, and I was like, oh shit. It's a function. They're not being pretentious, they're in pain. They're not, That's what. Learning so much about this hair, man. I had to learn how to eat. Straight up, first time I had a sandwich, I ate my hair. It was terrible, man. It was tomato soup, red tips, all in my hair. It was horrible, man. This hair is wild, man. Learning so much with it, dog. It's crazy. Man, I didn't even, the first time it touched the back of my neck, I thought there was a stranger in my house. I swear to God, I freaked out. I didn't know what was happening. Learning so much about white people with this hair. And honestly, I'm learning white people in general. Like, I went out, I was wearing the mask because I was at the airport, and I don't like raw dog in the airport, right? So I had the mask on, right? I had the white mask on. I go outside, man, it's bright as hell. And then I see the sun reflecting off the white of the mask. And then I had this epiphany. I was like, oh shit. That's why white people be falling off of mountains and shit. Cause they can't see. They just out in the wild reflecting themselves to death. Oh, that's so sad. Like this whole time, I thought white people were happy, out smiling to be white. No, you're squinting because it's bright. Damn, that's so sad, man. It's crazy how allergic y'all are to the sun. Like, I can learn to swim, but damn. I live up in LA now. LA's wild. When I first moved up into LA, my neighbor gave me an air conditioning unit, and I was young and dumb, and I was like, I can install this myself. I'm a man. I got this. So I YouTubed it, right? Immediately YouTubed it, and it said that I needed to prop it up in the window and then screw it into the base. And I was like, all right, cool. So I had it propped up in the window, right? And then I was reaching for my screwdriver, and it tipped, fell out the window. I live on the second story. I swear to God, fell out the window. Smashed, crashed everything. Like I looked out the window, I heard the whole noise, and I looked out and I was like, it might still be good. It wasn't. It destroyed my neighbor's whole lawn furniture. Everything was smashed. I go down, I'm picking up the pieces. I'm like, man, how am I going to tell my neighbor? I just moved in, man, to LA. How am I going to tell my neighbor that I just destroyed his whole lawn furniture? I'll just tell him next time I run into him. So the next morning, we run into each other, right? My neighbor, I'm like, hey, man, I just got to tell you about your lawn furniture, you know? And he goes, man, let me tell you about the lawn. I'm glad you brought that up. Last night, I must have came home drunk again and fucked up my shit. I was like, that's exactly what you did. I ain't telling them shit. Y'all ain't telling them. I ain't telling them. Shit. LA's a wild place, man. LA's a wild fucking place. It's in a place where adventure just happens, man. If you're looking for adventure, go to LA. LA's the type of place where adventure will find you and take you fucking hostage. It's crazy, man. I had to tell a crackhead to stop smoking crack 3 times on the subway the other day. Straight up, it's like he kept forgetting. First 2 times were my fault. First 2 times was my fault. I was too polite. First 2 times he lifted the crack pipe to his lips, and I went too polite. I wasn't gonna do nothing. Fucking. By the 3rd time he lifted the crack pipe to his lips, he inhaled and exhaled plume of smoke, filled the whole cabin, and he was unloading a cannon right into the back of this Asian family's head. And they weren't saying nothing because they're honorable, right? I was the only one in there with no honor. I was like, hey man, you can't be smoking crack inside the subway. I swear to God, he went just like this. He go, oh, that's right. That's right. That's right. This ain't a that's right situation, you know? It's not like you were like, is it Tuesday? No, it's Wednesday. Oh, that's right. Oh, that's right, I smoke crack in NY, New York, not LA. That's right. Then this dude next to me stood up. He was like, my man's right. Don't nobody want to be smoking crack this early. I'm like, that's not, okay, I guess, thanks for the help. Jesus Christ. It's crazy, man. It's an adventure, man. It's an adventure. It was like 1 o'clock in the morning, man. 1 o'clock in the morning, and I had to get an Uber, and I got an Uber pool because I'm poor. They should just call them poor, Uber poors, you know what I'm saying? That's just what you... So I got this Uber pool and everything, and it said that someone was gonna already be in there, and when it pulled up, I opened the door, someone was already in there. She looked real young, looked to be like Gen Z, younger than that and everything, and I was like, ooh, I need to be like Gen Z polite, you know what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm saying? If you guys don't know, Gen Z polite is when you just on your phone and you ignore everything else around you. You seen this? You've seen this. You've seen it. So we were in the thing being Gen Z polite, when all of a sudden we feel the whole Uber slow down, enough for us to pick up our heads. And when we do, we look in the middle of the road. In the middle of the road, we see this homeless dude dressed in all black, one shoe just in the street. Now, in LA, homeless don't cross the street. In LA, they are the street. They're rooted. They're like Groot, I am street. You know, they're just... So my Uber driver goes around him real slow, and as he do, I'm looking at this guy like, dude, middle of the night, dressed in all black, middle of the street. Doesn't he know that's an easy way to get hit? Right when I say hit, we hear boom, 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 boom. I swear to God, I look back, that homeless dude, he's laid out. He's gone, man. He had one shoe, now he has no shoes. He lost his whole shoe collection in this moment, right? Right next to him was a red Toyota. We weren't moving fast because we were going slow around, right? Red Toyota wasn't moving fast because it just hit a whole human. So I looked at the Toyota, I was like, well, what you gonna do, Toyota? And it was like it heard me, because it zooms off, hit and run, LA, right? Uber driver, he's Jamaican, I think he got triggered. He goes, you hit him, and then he zooms off. So now my Uber pool is an Uber car chase. You see what I'm saying? Man, everybody knew their roles. You hit him. Gen Z's already on the phone with the cops. Yeah, we're going down 95 degrees. It's not. I was like, how do you have all these fucking facts? What the fuck's going on, girl? Fucking, I was about to be dropped off at my spot. Like, I swear to God, I saw my place. We did 3 loops around my block. There were 3 times where I looked at my place and I was like, oh, look, you could have dropped me off again. Oh, look, another goddamn time I could have been dropped off. Oh, look, I don't have to be a hero. You could have dropped me off right now. We lose them on one street, park on another. Gen Z's still on the phone with the cops. Yeah, you're still, and the cops, and the ambulance are coming. Okay, good. The Uber driver turns to us. Whew, that was crazy. What should we do now? I'm like, brother, we do now, like, take us home. I'm like, that is your only job. I go to say this out loud. I'm like, sir, can you please just take us back to the guy to make sure he's okay? I'm like, oh, white people, yes, I guess that's the right thing to do. That's what I was gonna say. We go back to the guy, man. Man, he was all mad. He was already up doing cartwheels and shit. It was a fucking waste of time. Uber driver takes the girl home. Takes me home. I'm about to shut the door, and right before I do, the Uber driver goes, hey, we did good today, huh? And I'm like, man, nah, we should have done nothing. But in that moment, I knew what was going on, right? We all see it. In that moment, this was a 65-year-old Uber driver from Jamaica in LA having the adventure of his life, man. He gonna be telling his kids, grandkids for years. I had to give it to him as an American, as a man. I had to give it to him. I was like, hey, man, tonight, you were a hero. And as he waved me off and I waved him back, I gave him 2 stars. Because fuck that shit. That was dangerous fun. What the fuck? Thank you, guys. I'm Chip Nichols.
Keep it going for Chip. Okay. Are we ready for our feature comic of the night? We ready for our feature comic of the night? Your next comic coming to the stage is a regular at Comedy Works, headlines and tours all across this great country. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Stephanie McHugh!
Thank you so much. Set my drink down, bend my knees. I looked at the website and it said all shows are for 18 and older, and I thought, oh my gosh, there's going to be a lot of 18-year-olds here, and I had nothing to worry about. Hello, my people. And Ryan, it's okay for me if we die soon. There's any time to die now. Might be a good time to check out. I'm not saying I do it, but I'm saying if it happened, I'd be all right with it. Okay, I didn't mean to go so dark so early. Let's bring it back to being old. I mean, how can I tell you how old I am without telling you how old I am? I went to college and then became a comic. My dad's so proud of that. All 4 years I went to college, the professor would post our exam scores on the door by our full social security number. Yeah, to protect our identity. That way nobody knew who got what score. It was just a bunch of numbers. And I do have 2 daughters that are in their 20s, and the older one got married, and her dad and I walked her down the aisle on our 28th wedding anniversary, so thank you. Yeah, thank you. Thanks. We've been divorced 15 years. Touché, baby girl. but you love your kids. And Dana's right. I have a little nickname for him too, Sugar Nuts. It's not a nice name. It's a passive-aggressive name, Sugar Nuts. Sugar Nuts and I have another daughter, Julie, and last year she was 23, had her first real relationship with a guy, 39, and then he broke it off, moved to Vegas after a couple months. Sugar Nuts got pissed off, which is how you want the dad to be. He was protective. He was mad. He was like, I am going to send him a bag of dicks, which I didn't know you could do, but you can. You can ship a dick to someone. And I'm sure to a 39-year-old heterosexual male that's a diss, but as a divorced woman in her 50s, a bag of dicks is a thoughtful gift. Did you get me a bag of dicks? Thank you. And there's no man attached? I love this. This is so nice. You put vanilla potpourri in there too. It's perfect. I love it. Yep, I have 2 daughters. They don't really have a lot in common other than they grew up together. So Julie and I went to go visit Rachel in Oregon. There's the black ghost. He's like, get her out of here. I know, yeah. So, do I look okay? I probably look better, really, without the harsh light. You can probably see me a little bit better. I lost my train of thought. Okay, just talking about the girls. Going to Oregon. They don't have a lot in common. I thought they'd be close. They're not. So they made a playlist of all the songs they had growing up. And 9 Inch Nails, I Want to Fuck You Like an Animal came on. And Rachel goes, oh, that reminds me of being a little girl. All the lights are going to go off in a second, I'm pretty sure. But they were a lot of fun. And it's hard. It's hard being a mom. Like, I did a little bit of comedy when they were young, too. I tried to do comedy at night, kids during the day. We're too hard on ourselves. Finally, I said, forget it. I'm just going to do the 80-20 rule, and you can get so much more done when you're only doing 20%, okay? One night, I gave macaroni for dinner. The next night, I gave him the cheese packet. Boulder, thank you for knowing what a cheese packet is. Thank you. Yeah, no. And you might be thinking, well, you're an empty nester now. You're doing more. Nope, I'm still doing 20%. Let me give you an example. I had a show 2 weeks ago. I was wearing, I rolled my jeans up so just my ankles were showing, and I put self-tanner on from here to here. And I thought, oh my gosh, what if I meet the love of my life tonight? And we go back to his place. And I'll be like, look, I'll give you a hand job and show you my boobs, but I'm not taking my pants off, okay? I don't want to look like an idiot. And tonight, I just put it on my legs and my arms, so if I meet the love of my life tonight, it's just going to look like a big, white, floating head with googly eyes just coming at him. A lot of guys find that attractive. Yeah, so you have to take care of your body. And look, I love my body. I'm grateful for my body. These 2 things have fed 2 children and got me out of 3 speeding tickets, okay? I'm not complaining. But they're really heavy. They weigh a lot. Like, if you can put a quarter underneath your bare boob and it doesn't fall to the floor, the quarter, not your boob. I'm not going to do a visual, so just ask your neighbor. If you don't know that. But if it stays there, you're considered a full-figured woman. So I was at the laundromat. I had a bunch of quarters. So go home and see if you can beat this. $2.25. Thank you. The left side's bigger than the right. I know there's some math people out there going, that's an odd number of quarters, she's lying. I'm not. So after I had kids, I kind of wanted to get them enhanced and just kind of lift it up. And I told the surgeon I wanted to look like Barbie. And when I woke up, no nipples. So be specific. And just trying to stay in good shape, which can be a challenge in your 50s. And this year I said, my goal is to lower my BMI, body mass index, by growing half an inch taller. Because losing 20 pounds is so unrealistic. I'm gonna grow taller. Because you have to look good for the guys out there. You've heard the term cougar for a woman, right? You know there's a mathematical way you get to it. You take a woman's age, divide it by 2, add 7, and if she dates anyone younger than that number, she's considered a cougar. I can't believe Dana's here. Because I work out, I walk on the treadmill, and I watch Top Gun Maverick. It's very motivating if you've seen the volleyball scene. So I'm just walking along, watching Dana's brother. That's all we're going to call him tonight. That's who he is from now on. So I did the math, and Glenn Powell, I can't date. He's too young. But Dana's brother, I could date, technically. Thank you. I mean, he's happily married, but still, it could happen. No. Yeah. Really, I'm looking for a sugar daddy. He would be 106. And he's out there. That's why when I'm performing on the cruise ships, I'm just hanging out at the buffet by the pudding, just waiting for my man. We'll lock eyes and I'll go, hey, how are you doing? I said, hey! How are you? Okay, call me, write a letter. All right. You guys, thanks so much for coming out tonight.
Keep it going for Stephanie. All right. Are we ready for our headliner tonight? Yeah. Are we ready for our headliner tonight? He comes in here all the way from Chicago. I'm really hoping I don't screw this up because I've been working on this for a while here. Give it up for Neeraj Sharini Vashon!
My goodness, Boulder. One more time for Ryan for nailing that name, yo. He's been practicing. Nothing gets me going like Caucasian effort. That's my favorite shit. Yeah, just slurp that shit up like, tasty. It's good, man. Yeah, like you said, my name's Neeraj. I go by Neeraj. My full birth name is Parameshwaran Neeraj Srinivasan, which is why I believe that some people should be allowed to be racist. I don't know why I pointed at you. I'm sorry. That was a really heavy-handed way to start. You don't deserve that. Probably, right? You know, that's still pretty good. But that's where I'm at, you know? Like, if you don't read so well and you have a hard time learning how to make new sounds with your face, that makes you hate Indian people, I'll give it to you. I think that's fair. I think a little hate in your heart is an even trade for a reading disability. That sounds fine to me, dude. I'll give you a pass. Get it. Takes a lot of courage for an American to attempt that name, you know? Like the bravest person I've met was a Delta employee at the Salt Lake City airport. that had to say my name over the speaker when I was late for a flight. She had to try 4 times to get through it. And I know it wasn't easy because after the 3rd time, she sighed. She sighed into the microphone. Like, we all heard it. I'm like sprinting to my flight. All I hear is boop.
Calling Mr. Neeraj. Come on, Beth.
Like, she was really frustrated, you know. I got to my gate and I scanned my boarding pass, and Beth was like, wow, you know, you have a really long name. And I don't know what the appropriate response to that is, but I could tell from her reaction that the inappropriate response was, well, I was a pretty long baby. Yeah, she didn't like that. It's true, Indians have long names, and I'm convinced that is why, year after year, we dominate the spelling bee. That's right. All our brains are primed from a young age from having to identify our cousins. Right? Like, I would trust some 11-year-old kid named Meganamurthy Gopalakrishna before the spell check on my phone, okay? That kid will spell your balls off. He'll spell the shit out of it. It's true. Indians have long names, but Americans have goofy names. Like, Americans love giving their kids names after jobs that don't require a college degree. Right? Met a lot of hunters, tanners, masons, fishers, Parkers. People are naming their daughter Parker. This is my little girl. She parks. Are you insane? Like, just saying, haven't met any engineers. You know, there's never been 2 dudes like, what's up, I'm a lawyer, this is pharmacist. We're on the Duke lacrosse team, or whatever, you know. That's thanks for laughing. That's my dad's favorite joke. It's the only one he doesn't hate. That's the one that proves to him I don't need to be called doctor. You know, that's the one that sold it. My dad's a sweet man. You know, he's a really traditional, like, religious Indian guy, but he never pushes it on people. You know, he really only brings it up when he's losing an argument about something else. Like, I started getting tattoos a couple years ago. Called my dad. I was like, hey, Dad, I got a tattoo this weekend. He was like, what? Why? I was like, why not? Thought about it. He was like, well, our God doesn't like it. I was like, really? He's like, yeah, our God doesn't like it when you put all that sinful ink in your skin. I was like, Dad, we're Hindu. I'll find a new God. Come on. Are you serious? It's literally thousands of choices, you know. I'll track one down that isn't square as fuck, dude. Like, gotta be one up there that's all punk rock, like, ugh, you know. Just imagine that with 10 more arms. Like, I'm Sid Vishnu. Ah! Like, I'll just listen to that guy. I'll tell you the truth. This is the real reason I started getting tattoos. I recently came into an exorbitant amount of cash. Yeah. A lot of people don't know this about me, but a couple summers back, I was on a game show on ABC called $100,000 Pyramid, and I won $100,000. This is completely, thank you, yeah. Thanks for clapping, some of you. It's nice. It's nice to hear a little something. I've said that in Omaha, and nobody made a sound, and I was like, all right, getting fucking robbed tonight. It is. Should not have brought this money talk to this county. This was a mistake. It was surreal, dude. The host of the show is Michael Strahan. Yes, that one. Darling of the nation, Michael Strahan. And he asked me on the show, he's like, what are you going to do if you win $100,000? And at the time, I was in a relationship, so I said, I'm going to marry my girlfriend. And I said that because I didn't think I would win. You ever had the universe call your bluff? It can happen to you. It'll fuck up your plans. Like, my very first thought was, oh my God, I won! And my next thought was, Sid Vishnu, damn it. Oh, I gotta do it. It was bizarre, man. They gave me the money, and they're like, all right, this is gonna be on TV in 3 months. I said, great. But 3 weeks before the episode aired, me and that girl broke up. And then everyone I've ever known watched me lie for money on national television to Michael Strahan, which is like lying to Santa, honestly. It felt really wrong. My grandmother in India FaceTimed me to be like, congratulations, baby. When's the wedding? I had to like make up stories, like, oh, wedding's off, Grandma. She died. She was like, what? How did she die? And I was like, but yeah, you know how these American girls are with their cocaine. Haha. You know, that's what I said. I went to India last month. And the first thing my grandma says to me, she's like, you son of a bitch. You told everyone on TV that you're going to come back here and marry that girl. And I was like, Grandma, when I said that, they told me you had Alzheimer's. Okay, I did not think you were going to keep track of all of this. I was hoping you would think you dreamt that. Nope, she's still waiting. I don't want to marry that girl, dude. I just, there's been so much like weird like family pressure. Like my dad's been, I don't know. My dad used to talk to me about getting married like it was getting a haircut. He'd be like, do it. It'll look good. Now he talks to me like he's a climate scientist and I'm the CEO of an oil company. Went home for Christmas, he grabbed me, he was like, listen, we are running out of time. If you don't do something soon, we cannot help you. It's like, it's probably true. It sucks being single in your 30s, man. Like, I think what makes it tricky is that the people in your life that are in good relationships and happy marriages have run out of patience for trying to help you. And your most toxic imbecile friends cannot stop giving you advice. Like, I called up a buddy of mine, like, this is after my last breakup. Like, he's kind of a country guy, I hit him up. I was like, hey, man, like, where do you meet women? Like, how do you meet women? He's like, shoot, tell you what, man. If you want to meet women, here's what you do. You take your little ass down to the dealership, and you buy a Chevy Silverado. I was like, really? He's like, oh, yeah. Women love trucks. I was like, I think some women like trucks when they're not driven by Indians. It's bad optics. I know not one Indian guy that like hunts or goes off-roading or works in construction, It's just obvious what you're doing. Like an Indian guy buys a pickup truck for one reason only, and that is to confuse white women. That's what it's for. Just like distract them with some shiny rims and then wait till they hop in the cab and be like, ha-ha! I'm brown. Get ready for group dancing or whatever, it's... Sometimes I wish I'd married that girl, man, because it is not easy out here anymore, Only the freaks are left. It's true. I went out with a woman last week. We got some drinks. We went back to my apartment, had sex, which was fine, I guess. Honestly, really underwhelming. One of us came. It was me. Anyway, look, we had sex. I got up like, hey, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. And she grabbed my arm. She's like, wait, no, just pee on me. I was like, what? She's like, I'm serious. I want you to pee on me. I was like, oh, no thanks. She was in a frenzy. She laid back. She's like, just do it. I want you to pee all over me. Just pee all over me. I was like, look, I'll come pee all over you at your house. Well, why don't we go ruin your Costco sheets? All right, fuck off. It's just the stuff I think about, man. Getting older. I just turned 33 years old. Okay. I realize that usually there's a younger crowd and there's like a, yeah, and you guys are like, so the fuck what? So the fucking bringing your first set of knees in here, you piece of shit? Like, I was back there like, I don't care if they laugh. I just want them to be proud of me, bro. I just need this shit like, someone needs to call my dad and be like, good job. I definitely feel myself getting softer. Like, I've gotten so old, I'm going out of my way to buy weaker weed. I don't know if anyone else has this problem. If you're not a pot smoker, let me explain something to you. The era of legal marijuana is a dangerous time to be an aging stoner because the weed is getting both stronger and more affordable. So if you're a millennial that likes to get high on a budget, every day you have to wake up and make a choice between total boredom and sheer terror. Those are the only options. Like, I went to the dispensary near my place. The kid was like, hey, man, good to see you. We just got this new shit, 45% THC. And it's half off all week. I was like, Jesus Christ. Do you have something that's like 12%? I'll pay extra. No, I'll spend more money not to have a panic attack. That's money well spent. And it's a new thing. Like in my 20s, my boys and I would do dabs in our car and like practice donuts at Costco. That was a Wednesday night. I don't go that hard anymore, dude. I just want to put on Seinfeld and like forget the Kramer's racist. You know, that's all I need. My name's Neeraj, everyone. Thank you so much.
Keep it going for Neeraj! All right. So we got a few things. First, let's give another round of applause for Junkyard Social for letting us do this here. We have some amazing sponsors, and we're so appreciative of all of them. But there is one more that we did not get on here. Guys, he's doing all the videography over there. Let's give it up for Tom Parkin. He's doing this all 7 shows. I need you to give another round of applause, Zoe Rogers, for putting this together. This one's a personal one for me. Let's keep it going for Dave. Hasn't he been great? Love Dave. You all have been amazing. This has been such a fun show. Finish your drinks, get home safe. Have a great night!